I'm Harrison Brown from Biking in the World, and I'm on a ferry! I'm Harrison Brown, and I'm an adventure cyclist. I'm going to be biking by myself over 6,000 miles from Fairbanks, Alaska, all the way to Key West, Florida. Every day on the road is an adventure. Let's start pedaling because the adventure begins right now. After spending a few days here in Whitehorse, it's time for me to pack up and hit the road once again. I've taken a shower, and I've geared up, and I've rested up. I've actually slept in a bed. But now it's time for me to hit the road, and this time I'm headed back into Alaska to Skagway, all to where the beginning of the gold rush began, that big rush up to Dawson City. It all began right there with those people coming in and crossing over that huge mountain, the Chinook Pass. I probably didn't say that right, but there's a lot of things on this trip I haven't pronounced right. But that's okay. That's because I'm Harrison Brown and we're biking into the world! I'm now getting off the Alaskan Highway and I'm getting onto the South Klondike Highway, which is going to take me all the way into Skagway, Alaska. There I'll be catching a ferry. Well, I made it to the Carcross Desert, and unlike most deserts, this is a very small desert in Canada formed by the sand and silt from glaciers of the last age. You know what? That's science! One thing that's pretty amazing about all these lakes that I've been seeing is there's no boats on them. It's just absolutely smooth water out there and nobody's out there on a boat or even a canoe. It's all very isolated. Well, I've made it back to the United States of America and to one of my favorite states, Alaska. It's good to be home again, home to private health insurance companies, home to where some people don't even believe in evolution, and even where the highest office can be bought off in campaign payments, i.e. Obama and the pharmaceutical companies. Feels good to be home again. All it is a little downhill from here and I'll be into Skagway, Alaska. Woohoo! I've made it all the way to Skagway. Now this is where the beginning of the gold rush would all happen in 1898. They would come here, they'd gear up, and they would hike over the Chillicoot Trail. Did I pronounce that right? Probably not. Why? Because I'm half illiterate. But anyway, they would start right here and they would make their way all the way to Dawson City. They had a rough ride to get there, a tough trek. I had a tough ride to get here. It took me a while. I had a lot of hills, but had nothing compared to what they had to go through going over those hills through the winter months to get up to Dawson City to go panning for gold. It would now be time for me to hop on a ferry and begin my ferry hopping through the Inside Passage all the way down to Vancouver Island. My first stop would be just 15 miles from Skagway by ferry in Haines, Alaska. Then it would be time for exploring in Haines. This is the actual movie set that was used in the movie White Fang. While exploring, I would run into an old friend from Los Angeles.
So we started in June. Juneau, went to Haines, did a 5-day kayak trip, turned our phones off, put it on airplane mode, just took a bunch of pictures of them. And so when we got back to Haines, I turned my phone on and I get a text from you that says, "Hey, I'm in Haines Friday and Saturday night. You didn't know if I was going to be around or what." Well, that was the night we were going to be around, so it worked out perfectly. And with Mike,
Haines, Alaska! A one-handstand!
and Alan, we went to college together. We were in a band together called Mosaic. It's been a couple years since we've all hung out together, so we all kind of flew up to Juneau, met up there, then took a small plane up to Haines.
After a short ferry ride, I would arrive in my next destination for just a few hours. Right now, I am in Juneau, not the character from the movie Juneau, written by Diablo Cody, directed by Jason Reitman. No, I'm in Juneau, the capital of Alaska!
It turned out to be a pretty wet day in Juneau, but after just a little exploring and gearing up, I would return to load up on the ferry once again for a 29-hour trek south to cross back into Canada one more time.
So I've just arrived in Canada, in Prince Rupert, all the way from Juneau along the Alaska Marine Highway System, aka the ferry system. Now I'm in Prince Rupert. I got a day and a half to kill before my next ferry down to Vancouver Island. I don't exactly know what I'm gonna do yet, but let's go figure it out! Well, how about that, folks? Earlier today, I listened to Rainbow Connection by the Muppets, Kermit the Frog to be exact, and then I passed Rainbow Summit, and now, right there, there's a rainbow! It's a day of rainbows! Rainbows! I'm also really glad I came out this way. I wasn't sure what I was going to do in Prince Rupert while I was here. I had like a day and a half to spend here, and the weather hadn't been good on my way here, but once I got to Prince Rupert, it started clearing up, so I decided to bike on out the Yellowhead Trail, and I ended up making it about 60 miles, and it's just been a real nice ride. I'm about to load the ferry to go down to Port Hardy on Vancouver Island. Now the food on all these ferries gets kind of expensive, so last night I decided to buy a sandwich that I could nibble on all day. Let's take a look at that sandwich. This is gonna take me all day to eat. I finally made it to Port Hardy on Vancouver Island. Now I'm going to be biking Vancouver Island down the Sunshine Coast into Vancouver and then into the United States.
After riding in the rain for 2 days on Vancouver Island, my luck was about to change.
I woke up this morning with quite a bit of rain, some drizzle, some clouds in the sky. I thought it'd be another rainy day today, but it turns out the sun has come out. I've taken off all my rain gear, and now I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy the ride into Campbell River. I've made it back to the mainland of Canada, and I'm on the Sunshine Coast, and I got a lovely sunshine and a lovely coastline to ride for the next day that's gonna take me right into the city of Vancouver. Welcome to British Columbia.
So I'm on the Sunshine Coast at the moment. The past couple days have been absolutely gorgeous. I still sort of have like a cold, so I feel like I've been not enjoying everything quite as well, but I should be making it into Vancouver tonight. I'm super excited for that. I'm on the PCH Marine Drive. It's the PCH of Vancouver, and I'm headed to downtown Vancouver.
I would cross the Lions Gate Bridge to arrive in Vancouver. The city would come out in style and greet me on the streets. Actually, it was just Canada Day, a national Canadian holiday. These people waiting for a parade, not me.
After a long journey of ferry hopping and bike riding, I have finally arrived in the city of Vancouver. I'm going to spend a few days here, and then I'm going to head back into the lower 48 of the United States of America. Folks, the journey continues right here. I'm Harrison Brown, and I'm biking into the world.